Hello everybody, welcome back to Cooking with Johnny B, and today we're going to be making 2 chicken recipes in 2 pressure cookers. This one is the Instant Pot Duo, and this one here is the Power Pressure Cooker XL. So they're both 6-quart units, and we're going to be making these delicious chicken recipes. Now today I'm going to be featuring 2 low FODMAP type of recipes. And what that means is if you have gastrointestinal issues or you have stomach problems and you need to cook something mild that's not going to upset your stomach, these recipes will be perfect for you. So let's get started. All right, so the first recipe that we're going to make is a chicken and rice recipe. So I'm using these Kirkland chicken thighs. These are about the right size for this recipe. So I'm just basically going to open this up and make these into small little pieces, because we're going to take and saute these in the Instant Pot. If we cook these just a little bit before we put them under pressure, then it will help the rice to cook at the right amount. With these 2 items that are going to go in the pressure pot, they don't cook at the same rate. So we're going to pre-cook the chicken just a little bit, and that will allow the rice and the chicken to be done together at the same time. So I'm just going to chop this up into small pieces and get it ready to put into the Instant Pot. So the first step in this recipe is to saute the chicken. So I'm going to take and put a little bit of olive oil, probably about 2 tablespoons worth, in the bottom of this Instant Pot liner, and we're going to turn the function to saute. So you press right here, saute, and now it's starting to heat up. So let's put in the chicken. Let's put the chicken in here. Now we just kind of stir this around until it starts to cook. Okay, let's put a little salt and pepper in here, just to taste. We should hear this chicken start to sizzle. I can already see some of the little wafts of steam coming off the bottom. So just take a few minutes here, and this will begin cooking. As you can see, the chicken's starting to cook nicely. Just got to keep it off the bottom of the pan. And once this gets a little bit closer, then we'll start adding the other ingredients. One thing to note too is whenever you're preparing raw chicken, it's important to clean up anything that the raw chicken touches, to wash it with good antibacterial soap and water. And we're taking all the precautions as we're making this dish as we go along. This is just about finished. As you can see, the chicken starting to turn, or less translucent actually, and more opaque. So we want it to be more white and less that uncooked look. Now it doesn't have to be completely cooked all the way through. We just want to get it up to a certain temperature so that way when we put in the other ingredients, they'll all cook about the same time. All right, so I can turn the saute function off, and the way we do that is, I'm just going to tip this up, and we just press cancel. All right, now we can add all the other ingredients. All right, since this particular recipe is low FODMAP, we're going to be only adding a few ingredients, but this one actually will give it some nice flavor. So we're going to finely chop some of these celery stalks. This will give it some nice flavor, It won't increase any of the acidity. All right, that will be good enough. I'll chop these a little bit more. And right into the Instant Pot they go. Okay, now it's time to add the other ingredients. So this is 1.5 cups of rice that's been rinsed and drained. So just stick that right in there. And then we're going to put in 4 cups of chicken stock. I love using these little boxes of chicken stock because I always know it's 4 cups and it's really convenient and very economical too. Now we're just going to put a few things in for taste. So I like to use this organic tamari sauce, and I'll probably use about the equivalent of 2 tablespoons, and just a little tiny bit of Worcestershire sauce. All right, that's good. Now let's just kind of stir this together. And this is ready to turn on and ready to go. So this is how we set the Instant Pot for this particular recipe. We're going to press pressure cook, and we're going to use the plus sign and go up to 15 minutes. And it will be under pressure for 15 minutes, and then we're going to let it do a natural release. So that's the way it's going to finish cooking. Now let's work on the other recipe, the one that's chicken and potatoes. First thing we're going to do is chop up the potatoes. So I've got about 1.5 pounds of potatoes here, and we're just going to cut them in half, cut that in half again, and then make these into small little chunks. And we're going to do this with all these potatoes, and they'll get ready to go into that pressure cooker. This recipe is really easy to assemble. So we're just going to take some chicken bone broth, and we're going to use all 4 cups. We're going to put in the 1.5 pounds of potatoes, and then right on top goes this frozen chicken. This is the same chicken we used before. I get this at Costco. They come in a 3-pack. But this one, you could just put it in frozen, just like that. Now this recipe is going to include some cheese at the end. So we're going to be using a low FODMAP cheese, which is the Colby Jack cheese. We're going to be putting it in after everything is finished cooking under pressure. So that way, once the pressure is off, and it will melt great because everything will be hot, steamy, and ready to go. So this particular dish is going to take 25 minutes. So we're going to use the chicken and meat setting here, and then we're going to go up. This is the time adjustment button. We're going to go up on this to about, let's do 30 minutes. That'll be perfect. That'll get the chicken completely cooked, even though it's frozen right now. And it will cook the potatoes, and everything will be incorporated really nicely at the end. So once this comes to pressure, it will cook for 30 minutes, and then we're going to do a quick release on this. All right, while the 2 pressure cookers are cooking, let's prepare the cheese for the potato dish. So I've got here Colby Jack. This is considered low FODMAP, and I'm going to use about 10 ounces. So we're just going to grate all of this down and get it ready to fold in after that's completed cooking. All right, so we can see that this one has finished cooking, and now we're going to do a natural release. So as soon as the pin drops in the back, it'll be time to open up and give it a taste. All right, well, the pin is dropped, and it's time for us to open up. This took about 15 minutes for it to release on its own. So let's open it up. And remember, when you open it, you always open it away from yourself. I'm going to set it right here on the little carriage. And look at that. This is awesome. Doesn't that look beautiful? So now let me plate this up, put it in a nice little bowl, and we'll be ready to taste in just a minute. All right, so the 30-minute timer is up. So it's time for us to release the steam. So I'm going to come across here. And we're going to do this very gently because there's a lot of liquid in this. So we're just going to release it slowly. And once all the steam is out, we'll open it up and take a look. Okay, the steam is all out. We can open up the lid, open it away from us. And let's look inside. You can see that chicken is perfectly done. So we're just going to kind of move it around a little bit. Now in this particular recipe, we're not going to try to like shred up the chicken, although you could. We're just going to plate it, put a little cheese on there, and then it's time to taste. So for this particular presentation, I'm going to kind of chop this up, put it in this little bowl here. Get some potatoes. Those in there. Take a little bit of the chicken stock, pour it right on top, and now comes the fun part, to add the cheese. Put a little generous helping in there, then we got to mix this up. Now that looks absolutely delicious. So I'll put a little bit more cheese on top, and then it's time to taste. All right, everybody, this is my favorite part of the video. It's time to taste. We have two very similarly made dishes, but they look completely different. You can see this one here looks like chicken with rice risotto, and this one is almost like is very soupish. But it has chicken and potatoes and cheese, really delicious. So let's start with the rice dish and see how this tastes. I want to make sure I get some good chunk of chicken and some rice. Oh, that's really good. You can taste the chicken. The chicken's very forward because of the chicken broth as well, because good chicken flavor. You can have a little hint of the tamari as well as the Worcestershire sauce. Little hint of celery. It's just a very nice and bland dish. So if you're having issues with your stomach, or if you're not feeling good and you want a comfort dish, this is the one. This tastes amazing. So let's try dish number 2. This is the potatoes, chicken, cheese. It's kind of a soup, but it really isn't. It's more like a stew. Let's take a taste. Oh, mercy. That looks good. Wow. That's really good. The chicken's completely done. Even though it went in frozen, completely done, nice and tender. The potatoes are still intact. They're not real mushy. But look at that. I mean, little stringy cheese. It's fabulous. I can't wait for you to try these two dishes at your place. And I hope you like them as much as I do. When you get a chance, I would appreciate it if you just drop me a comment and say, hey, I really enjoyed this dish, or there's something missing in this dish. The one thing about these dishes, they are made bland on purpose, but you can easily spice them up. You can put a little cayenne pepper in them. You can put other vegetables in them. That would make them, taste really different, but they would be great. You can add anything. The beauty of these pressure cookers is that they're so versatile and they cook anything and everything just really well. So that's it for another edition of Cooking with Johnny B. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. It helps a lot. Give it a nice thumbs up, crash that bell so that when new videos come out, you'll be ready to get them, and share it with a friend. It's always appreciated. So as I always say at the end, I'll catch you on the next one.